Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing me and Kylie together through sometimes tumultuous circumstances, sometimes fun circumstances, and everything in between. Our lives have been intertwined in so many ways because we lived close to each other, and just all the different ways that somehow our paths crossed, even when we didn't even know each other. And so, I pray that this conversation is fruitful, that it can lead to growth for the both of us, that it can teach people as I attempt to teach her, even though I don't always feel the most qualified to teach, that I can try my best to explain the things that you've been able to show me through wisdom and discernment, and where I fall short, that you pick up the slack. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. So, Kylie, if you want to introduce yourself, we know each other through, there's the way that we know each other through school, through math counts, through living close. There's through comedy, through UCLA. I don't know how you would explain our relationship.
Well, I first met Nathan in elementary school. I think I was in third grade, and Nathan was in second grade. And then he just made a comment about the computers not working. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then in middle school, we met again for mock trial. And I felt like Nathan was trying to be one of the cool kids, and I was just sitting there watching. Because, your grade had a lot of like people who were trying to fit in. And then, I saw you at math counts, but I was just there because I was told to be put in there.
You were told to be put in there?
Yeah.
Who told you?
I wanted to do like acting or swimming, but my parents were like, "Oh, nah, math counts." I'm like, okay. Yeah. Otherwise, if I had free choice, I don't think I would have met Nathan in math counts. I like mock trial, so I joined out of my own will. And then high school, speech and debate. Nathan is a year younger than me, so like we didn't really share the same classes. But I would see him a lot, and then I would see his sister. But it was always like sporadic, random moments. So, and then speech and debate. We were just. I don't know. I wasn't doing anything funny. I think Nathan was trying to be funny. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to become a lawyer or not. So, yay! And then in college, I met Nathan. My second year, sophomore year, I joined Shenanigans, and I saw Nathan. He was with Austin, and I think Nathan helped found the club. And then, he had a club, and he merged it with Austin's club to form one Shenanigans. Like, cause you're UCLA Sam Comedy Club. I was like, oh, okay, hi. And then, I saw him. I didn't really do stand up, so I didn't really get to see Nathan that much, except when we have to do like funny meetings. I talked to Austin more because he's the president, I was vice president, and we really managed Shenanigans. And then, but yeah, we had a lot of fun in college with Shenanigans parties. But I didn't really get to really know Nathan until after college. He was really nice. In 2019, that was because I was doing stand for a while, but I wasn't really getting any progress. And then Nathan and I, we started going to open mics together. And then he taught me a lot about joke writing. I'm like, oh, okay. So, there's a formula, and you would tell me what's funny, what's not funny. And then, that's why I'm a really good comedian, stand-up comedian. I think Nathan really put the basis of my jokes and punchlines. If you guys don't think I'm funny, I'll say a joke after the podcast. You guys can contact me via Instagram.
Well, if it doesn't work, you blame it on me.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. But everything's been working. I have a pretty good hit rate right now. But it was we went to open mics, and then he introduced me to NAMI, which is National Alliance on Mental Illness, and then I found out, wow, my anxiety. If anxiety lasts more than 3 days, that's like a disorder.
What?
Like, oh yeah.
Who said that?
Well, it's kind of like there's a difference between someone getting anxiety and someone having an anxiety disorder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I'm just fearful of everything. Yeah. but some people just get anxiety in general. Like if they like are putting a chair near a table and they're trying to make it fall, that's anxiety inducing for a lot of people. Yeah. And, yes. And then, so I learned a lot about myself. I learned how to like take care of myself mentally, you know, and then, yeah. And then the pandemic happened. We were all shut in our house. And, then we, then yeah, I moved out during the pandemic. You know, Nathan and I became close because he helped me navigate life outside the pandemic, and we've been doing stand-up comedy ever since the pandemic. Well, on and off. We've had an on and off relationship, but we give each other advice, go through life events together, and yeah, Nathan and I were sitting here today. He's gonna mentor me some more. Yeah, I mean, throughout our entire friendship, I've looked at Nathan as more not only as a close friend, but also like a mentor. And I feel like he's helped me with a lot of like challenging life moments. Like at one point, I feel like I didn't want to be on the earth anymore. And he's like, you know, mentor me through that. Like, well, I mean, kill myself, but I don't know if that's whatever. Let's
I
keep
like
going.
saying
And,
that I didn't want to be on. I wanted to be on a different planet.
Yeah. I wanted to be on Mars. I didn't want to be on Earth. Yeah. So yeah. Nathan's got a lot of wise advice. He's one time I called him Gandalf, you know, that little white old with a huge white beard, the old man. And I think Nathan's wise and you can learn a lot from him. And yeah, I feel like I'm the person today, you know, partially because of Nathan. So
wow, that's nice of you to say those things.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, so well, this podcast is about three things. Well, more than three things, but pain, patience, and people. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm trying to figure out how to segue nicely, but obviously I just buried the lead.
yeah.
But yeah, what's been a point of pain for you this week, or how? First of all, let's go through your week. That's how we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how's your week been?
Well, I guess I mean I'm an honest person. I like to be honest. So I mean, yeah, just various frustrations like my apartment. I'm still trying to clean my apartment. It's kind of a mess, but it's getting better. Like I've been doing the first time I've been folding clothes in like a month or two. So because I usually just stuff clothes in trash bag, but now I'm like actually getting out the trash, which is good. And then, but still a point of pain because there's just a lot of mess to figure out. I need to figure out how to put stuff back. And another point of pain is just comedy video making, because I'm doing stand-up comedy, but I don't have a car right now, and it takes me 1 hour to get to open mics everywhere. And so, and then sometimes I don't even get up. So I would, like last Thursday, I bussed 1.5 hours to Glendale. Then I waited 1.5 hours to an open mic, which I found I didn't get to go up. And then I had to bus 1.5 hours back to my place in Beverly Hills. And it's like, yeah, like even if I do well open mics, I don't get booked on many shows. And I'm kind of tired of doing open mics, and I just feel like I need to segue into something new and exciting. And comedy video making. And I'm still trying to like get my stuff together for that, but I feel like I have poor time management skills. Like I don't have the best priorities, so that's why Nathan's here today. I have ADHD, so I'm all over the place. So he's here to help organize my thoughts and tell me how to stop wasting my time. And then another pain point. It's kind of embarrassing to say. But okay, I'll say it. But I guess you guys don't judge me, or I mean, you can judge me. It's fine, whatever. I've been thinking about a girl a lot. I almost kissed her a month ago, and I did the segue moves. They really their pronouns are they. They really liked them, liked it, and then after that, they told me, Kiley, wait, can I say like dirty stuff on this podcast?
I would say you can, but I personally would like you to avoid it
Okay.
if you can. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make it more friendly, family friendly. Kylie, you made all the girls like want to fall in love with you, and then I was like, oh wow, that means she wants to kiss me. And then my other friend was like, they're interested in me. And then my friend was like, no, they're not. And then they kept telling me they're not. And then like we had an awkward conversation. And then after that, my friends, I talked to a lot of coworkers and friends later, and they're like, Kylie, no, they wanted you. They want to kiss you. And I'm like, what? And they're like, that friend lied to you. And I'm like, no. And everyone's like, yeah, that often happens when women try to block other women from men. And I'm like, wow, I thought this was a straight thing. I guess queers and straights have something in common. We block each other. And then, so basically that's brought me a lot of pain because there's no closure. I texted them. They haven't texted me back. I still haven't kissed a girl. I'm really terrible at dating apps. I'm going to a speed dating event, but I think the problem is it's like I try to focus on comedy, but then like this whole dating thing just dominates my mind. I think it's because I've never done it before. So I want to just get it out of the way. Because it's like, honestly, ever since they hugged me, I've been, that my crush hugged me. And since then I've been able to focus more on my comedy and stuff. Like I don't waste time on Reddit or YouTube. So it's crazy how like a hug can change your life. And, I've been like more interested. No, I've just been able to like do more tasks and not like, cause I used to spend like 2 or 3 hours on Reddit and YouTube a lot, or maybe even more, like 3 to 6 hours, but now I'm like, more on it. So, but yeah, I think this is like ruining my life. This is not dating, and everyone's like, no, Kylie, you should date. And then a lot of people in my life are getting married, and I haven't even started finding someone. So, but yeah, so basically all week I've just been thinking about, the girl, like dating, kissing, cuddling, holding hands on a beach, splitting halfway on a steak at a restaurant, high fancy restaurant. And, I guess but those fantasies are dominating my mind. So I feel like I'm less productive because I keep fantasizing about that. So as long.
So like the main threads, to correct me if I'm wrong, are your time allocation, right?
Yeah.
But then also it's like there's things that happen in the present, but then they become the past, and they're still dominating the present, but then they spiral off into these future scenarios. So you have things that happen in the past that are spiraling off into future scenarios that are sort of playing while you are simultaneously trying to wrangle in your time and energy in the present, which sounds like it can create a lot of it just would create a lot of it's like you're watching like 7 different movies at the same time.
Yeah.
And well, you're watching 7 different movies, but there's actually one movie that like you're participating in itself.
Yeah.
Does that feel like a apt analogy to explain?
Yeah. It's kind of like that Jim Carrey movie. I forgot what the name was, but where he basically lives life on a lot and his life is just a movie.
The Truman Show.
Yeah, The Truman Show.
Huh. Okay. Expound on that a little bit.
Because it's like, I feel like I haven't watched the movie in a while, so I kind of forgot the premise.
Great movie.
Yeah, but it's basically, I just remember him like, people are just looking at him through the lens of like a movie, or they're trying to like film him and stuff, and he doesn't really know what's happening. And then one day, I feel like he does, but then I forgot.
Well, do you know how the movie ends?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, so he catches on to the fact that he's being watched.
Yeah.
And so he sees that there's a sort of ocean, right? And he he sails out in the ocean, right? Everybody's watching him as this is happening, and actually half the world's like, the people producing the show are obviously freaking out, but then half the world that's been watching him is actually rooting him on. They're like, break out of this, break out of this, break out of this.
Yeah.
And so he keeps sailing and sailing and sailing, and he hits the edge. There's a wall, right? Because it's just a wallpaper of clouds projected. So he hits that, and then he breaks out of it. But I have to rewatch the movie. But at the end, you're venturing out into the unknown.
No, yeah.
You don't know if his life's any better, because in the Truman Show, everything is provided for him. He literally leaves every day. He's like, if I don't see you later, good morning, good night, and good evening, or something like that. And, everybody loves him and everybody treats him well, and he has this great life, and he has a job, and he's sort of going through it. And so his life's not bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not real. It's not authentic. And
Yeah.
so he's choosing to sacrifice the life that he knows goes this way for something completely unknown, right? And that's what is going to cause, you're going to get anxiety about the future, right?
Yeah.
There's studies about it being sort of a way to measure entropy, right? To measure uncertainty. Like the amount of anxiety is sort of an index of how much uncertainty is in front of us. So I don't know if you feel like you're in I'm interested in this. Why would you think immediately of the Truman Show?
I just feel like, people have called me like various names. Like our dear friend Austin called me ET once. I'm a little extraterrestrial. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then women have rejected me before because they called me, I'm too cute and cuddly for them. And then also it's like, yeah, people have been telling me I've been disabled a lot. And I feel like, yeah, the disability thing causes me to feel like I'm in a TV show and people are just helping me, but I can't really actually help myself. Because my first roommate said that you're disabled, you got to get help. Then like my therapist at DD Hirsch were like, yeah, Kiley, you need to go to the Reach Center to get extra help. And then recently, like my lawyer for mental health advocacy said that, yeah, you're disabled, so you're like you can't control yourself in a house full of people. Like this is gonna happen. It's okay, Kiley. It's because you're disabled. And then now, because of my disability, I have like a personal assistant, and then I have help with housing. And it's just like, I think it's better, but I just feel like sometimes I'm like a little puppet. And also, I don't really know social cues, and I keep asking people for advice. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes wrong, like with the girl. And then, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel it, but then everyone laughs at me. Everyone's like, Kiley, you're so funny.
So it's like, despite all of this, like people find you entertaining. They want to watch what you have to do next. They want to see. So I see how that could be like the Truman Show, because they want to watch everything he does, but everything he does is orchestrated. I feel like maybe the fact that it's orchestrated, there's a lack of control. Because if everybody's controlling his movements, then he has no control over his own choices and decisions.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I lived in an environment before, like I went out where I could describe it as helicopter parents, where, they're like out of anxiety. My parents like chose a lot of stuff for me. So now I'm like I'm trying to struggle, like what's my choice versus the choices that I've been struggling with in the past. Like, for example, dating, like it was like kind of frowned upon because like I need to do well in college. So now like when even the mere thought of dating, sometimes I get like an anxiety attack, or I just throw to go to dating apps, I get rejected, and then I throw my phone. I throw my phone like 10, 15 feet away. I measure it because I'm so frustrated. And so and it's like the fact that I don't have control over the dating thing, and I don't have control of the emotions when it comes to dating. But it's weird because I mastered comedy very well. So I feel like I'm simultaneously in pain and pleasure because comedy gives me a lot of pleasure, but then dating gives me a lot of pain. And but ultimately, I am an entertaining person. Yeah, I feel like one of my coworkers were like, Kylie, you're so cute. You're like Russell from Up. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm a little fat. But he's not fat, but little brown scout guy. And then people call me cute all the time when I talk. They're like, Kylie, you're so cute, like a little teddy bear. I feel like a teddy bear all the time sometimes. So yeah, it's hard for me to imagine myself dating because I feel like a teddy bear, a cute one. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Well, okay. So we sort of talked about time, right?
Mm.
And then control. Those are a few things. Time, control. Um, there's the aspect of affection, but it's like the dating, the trying to get affection and validation from, these people, brings up oftentimes more pain than it could potentially alleviate.
Yeah. Because usually it goes wrong. All these encounters. Like if that girl kissed me, I don't think I would be focusing on them as much, but it's like, I think it's because of the pain of closure and like the knowing what if my friend didn't block me or my friend actually told the truth.
Yeah, well, yeah, you definitely dwell on the what ifs a lot. Like that's these many different movies are playing. But if this happened, it happened a month ago. So
yeah,
there's none of the extrapolations you're making about what could happen. None of that's nothing. None of that's real.
yeah,
Like absolutely none of it. So it's, I don't know. It's interesting because you're not on Reddit as much, right? You're not, and the other websites, which I don't want to mention, but that was you living in fantasy, right?
yeah,
You're living in a virtual world that's not
yeah,
in front of you. So you've obviously made progress in that respect.
yeah.
So you're
Honestly,
spending less time on that. So you are spending more time in reality than you were previously in the past.
yeah,
Am
yeah.
I
Like
right in
once
saying that?
once my crush hugged me, I like limited my Reddit usage to like an hour. Like it's crazy. It's like I was like, wow, I didn't know a hug could feel this good. I should. And then like suddenly like the internet doesn't give me as much pleasure because I want the pleasure of being hugged by another person. And they also like validated me. They're like, oh, Kylie, they thought I was like caught, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So like I want that experience again. So that's why it's like kind of like Reddit now is like it's like 10-year-old pasta sauce or like rotting carrots, rotting salmon. And we froze.
Yeah, my internet connection is not the best. Which is gonna.
Okay, we froze it.
Yeah, well, the audio kept up, so that's nice.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting. So we were talking about the. Oh, I thought you froze.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh,
No.
this is when I find out on the analytics that this is when people leave the podcast. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So I mean, okay. Let's move on from we've sort of isolated a few key points, right? About control.
Yeah.
There's this sense that you're living in this fantasy world that isn't in the present, that sort of plays, and you're trying to get a grasp on it or control it. But then the second you get something that tethers you to the physical, right? Like touch or something, what else? Well, when you do stand up, there's like if you don't respond in the moment to stand up and you don't react in the moment, then you're quickly bombing, right? So you're forced to react to the present, right? So yeah, what is it that you can do that can allow you to tether yourself more to the present. Like you've already made a tremendous amount of progress being present.
Honestly, just having an experience. Like, I mean, I don't have to like have a serious relationship, but like if I could like do some like fun stuff with a girl, like going out to the beach or going out on a date. I don't think I would be thinking about these things because I'm thinking about stuff that I want, you know, I feel like because of the unknown, because I still feel good. But I feel like if I done those already, like you don't really think about dating because you've already done it, right? Like you don't think about
What? I don't think about dating.
but yeah, like you don't think about holding hands or like going on to the beach or a date.
I do
Or
think
do
about
you?
those. I do think about those things, but I don't think about them when I think it's something I've always talked to you about. I tend to, okay, obviously I'm trying to not think at all. Okay. I'm trying to, one of the things I'm trying to live by is don't think, just worship. Now I know that that's a foreign
Mhm.
concept potentially to you, but worship means service, right? Worship means to serve and to praise. And you can think of God, right? Or as the highest good, right? The
Yeah.
most beautiful thing, the most good, the most beautiful thing that you could potentially ever imagine, right? God is a deeper love than you can ever imagine. Like he's a deeper love than you can even imagine on this earth, right? So
Mhm.
take the deepest love you've ever had and multiply that by an inordinate amount of numbers. Okay? That's God. Okay, so to worship, to not think and to worship is to just sit in this place and dwell purely on that is good, right? And so you're not thinking about anything except you're not thinking, right? Because thinking itself is you meandering all these different pathways. You're just focusing on one direction. So I'm trying not to think. Now, do I think about dating? Yes, but I it's it's really really useless to think about something when you have no potential to do anything about it. And that's sort of what, right? Like you're thinking about this thing that happened a month ago, right? There's if you're going to think about it at all, think about what you're going to do about it now. But you're thinking about it a month ago. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it a month ago, right? Zero,
Yeah.
zilch, right? Or you can plot revenge. People do that. They plot revenge on something that happened all these years ago, right? And that's a horrible recipe for murder or yourself dying. Okay, so like revenge sucks. Okay,
Okay.
revenge sucks. And maybe you get like a momentary burst of feeling any sorts of relief, and then you're just mollywopped by shame and guilt, and then you probably shoot yourself in the head. So it's revenge sucks. It doesn't work. Okay, obviously that's why forgiveness is a much better solution. Now, if you can't forgive, then you can you can just do something about it now, and just move on. So yeah, do I think about dating? Yeah. Well, sometimes I don't think about it at all, and then all of a sudden I have a dream about a person I love, and then I wake up and I'm like, I'm thinking about it. but I'm too busy. I'm too busy doing things that I feel like are moving me closer and closer to God.
Mhm.
And if I'm occupying my time trying to get closer and closer and closer to the greatest good, which I'm telling you, right, is better than any love, right? I can confidently say that I love my exes more than I did when I was with them because I
Mhm.
understand the capacity of love deeper. Like I didn't even have the capacity to love them as much as I understand love to be now. So, and that only happens through continuing to forgive and continuing to let go of pain and continuing to what we talked about, which is patience, continuing to cultivate resilience, continuing to cultivate the ability, right? So I listen to Jordan Peterson a lot, and there's pain and there's pleasure, right? But it's not really an accurate opposite. The idea is that there's pain and then there's the willingness to bear pain. right? So
Yeah.
rather than thinking about pain and pleasure, right? Pleasure is more that you've found a source, a way to avoid pain. Pleasure is like if you eat a sugar, right? It's like our evolutionary apparatus goes, oh, you're not gonna suffer as much. You just ate something that allows us to like not hunt for as long, right? We can go hibernate, we can go chill. So it's an indicator that you have the ability to avoid pain, but it's not a solution to pain, right? It's not a solution to pain. So, right, okay, let me give you an example. Dating. Okay, I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to have a career to be able to support those kids. I want to have a good life that allows me to provide for other people, that allows me to facilitate good experiences for them. I want to live a life that honors God. And I want a wife that I can submit to and honor as well and learn to love, right? I want to learn to love her, right? I want to have a child because there's no greater love than, I mean, I have a child. Everybody says it's again, it's a level of love that you can't imagine until you have it, right? There's all these things I want. And sure, I don't have it and I don't like that. And that brings about a source of pain. Okay. What can I do about it? Well, I can't just make a wife appear out of nowhere. I can't just go, I can't like I can't be like Borat and go to Pamela Anderson and be like, my wife, I make you my wife and I put my bag over her head and I grab her. I can't do that.
I mean, if you can do that, you'd be the number one person in the entire world. People would just come to you for advice, Christian dating.
Yeah. So I can't do that. So what can I do? Right? What can I do? Which actually this factors perfectly into the next thing we're going to film, but it'll be a different thing. But this goal setting template, that this process, what's beautiful about it is that it's not about achieving the goal. It's about becoming the person for whom the goal would be inevitable. Okay? Right? So what does that mean? You're trying to become a famous comedian. Well,
oh yeah, we didn't really talk about comedy, but yeah, let's talk about it some more.
A famous comedian is so funny that you put them on a stage and inevitably the result it just so happens they make the crowd roar in laughter, and that crowd wants to pay money to see them, and they're likable, and they can generally famous comedians can host, right? They can host a variety of things. You put them on that stage and they can be the glue that puts everything together. Whether it's a movie, right? Whether it's a movie, a podcast, a show with other people on it, a game show, right? You just put them there, and because they're that person, everything is more entertaining. That's what a comedian can do, right? So you have to become that person. You don't just, right? You're not just, you might be born with some talent to get there, but you're not just that person right away. So if I'm trying to become, if I want to get married, rather than focusing on how to get married, like all the steps, like I want that to happen now, why don't I just prepare to become the person who can handle everything that comes with being married and having kids? Okay, well, I can confidently say that one of the issues is finances. Okay, I ask someone to marry me and they say, yeah, and then what? I got to buy a ring. It's expensive. You know what I mean?
Really?
So where is that going to come from? Where's that money going to come from? Where's that ring going to come from? It might not just come from money. It might come from my relationships with other people, and they help me. I've created so much goodwill with people that they want to just lend me the money because they believe in me. They go, we want you to succeed, and we believe that you are a capable husband and father, and we want to see that happen. So here's the money for it. That happens all the time too. So it's not just like, it's a qualitative thing too. So that's why I think it's rather pointless to think about something when there's nothing you can do about it, right? Which is why prayer is very interesting, because prayer is thinking towards something, right? When you're thinking and just fantasizing and it goes off into nothingness and you have no idea where it goes, right? That's why people go on Reddit. They're like, I'm having all these thoughts. Let me just type them to someone. Let me direct it towards someone and maybe they'll answer me back. Well, when you pray, it's like, I have all these thoughts. I don't know where they're going. Let me direct them. Let me direct everything I'm thinking towards the creator of everything. Maybe I'll get an answer. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it makes sense. Okay. You go on Reddit and 5 million people tell you a bunch of different things. How do you know any of them? And one person, maybe they get a bunch of upvotes or something, right?
Mm.
That's how you know, just because they got the most votes. But you don't know if they're right.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, we don't know, like, people might make that claim about the Bible or books of wisdom or something. But there's a reason why these things have been passed down from generations, because they tend to be timeless wisdom. They just tend to be things that are true. And so they generally tend to point you at least in the right direction. They might not give you the specifics of what to do, but they can at least point you in the right direction. So,
very profound. Yeah. I was gonna go say a joke like, you can meet a rich wife, you can be that. You can read a rich wife, and you can be that husband.
Well, who's to say that a rich wife wants to marry a poor man?
I mean, I don't know.
So
I mean,
you have to. What is it that, if a rich wife marries you, what is it that you're offering? She can take her money anywhere. Why you? That was a conversation I had with a friend of mine, because his wife makes more money.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, I feel bad. It's like, well, clearly she thinks that you're going to be a good person to share that money with. So it's not like you're some bum.
Mm.
Sure, you don't make as much money, but she sees that you're capable. She trusts you, right? Like, if I came up to you and you have $25,000 and I have $125,000, and I say, hey, I want us to be equal in this business. Obviously, I think that if I gave you an extra $50,000, I think that you would be able to use that wisely if I did that. So, anyways, well, the way that I wanted to structure this was pain, patience, people. We kind of talked about that. We're kind of talking about, like, relationships and how those things go. While we don't have try to keep this around an hour, and then we'll shut off. So I have to help my grandma.
Okay.
Speaking of people, and then we'll hop back on and we'll do the next part. We'll split it up into two.
Which is the planning part, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, for those of you, if you're listening, we're going to do a thing called reverse goal setting. This guy, I think Justin Sung, and a little bit from Tim Ferriss. But it's a pretty cool way it's very, very meticulous. And so that's why it's helpful to have someone guide you through it. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what happens there. But what does purpose mean to you? I don't even think we've really talked about that.
Yeah, I've always wondered what my purpose in life is. Well, to me, I just want to, I like helping people, and I feel like, because now, like, people laugh at me all the time, jokes. I feel like my purpose is to, make people feel better, regardless of, like, I want people to laugh so much that they forget about their worries and troubles for, like, a day or something. I want people to really, I want to, inspire people to, like, because I want to do more comedy or jokes about mental health, inspire. Give them just an example, like, hey, I did this, then this helped. So, like, people don't really give up on themselves, because at one point, if you want to kill yourself, that means you gave up on yourself. So I want people to have motivation to keep going in this life. And then purpose.
Well,
yeah,
that was pretty beautiful right there, what you said. So
yeah.
continue, but I'll circle back to something. I'll put a pin in it. But yeah, continue with your thought.
Yeah, I just well, also I guess the way I grew up, sometimes I feel like my purpose is to become a high achieving Asian, um, who like makes a ton of money as like a lawyer and cooks dinner for the Asian parents. Like sometimes I feel like that's should be my purpose, but I'm like going against it, the stereotypical, Asian high achieving person. So it's like kind of like as I go on to this comedy journey, sometimes I have doubts. Like, is this really my purpose? If this is my purpose, then why do I have to see so many roadblocks in a way of like comedy? But I mean, I like helping people. I feel like that's another thing, purpose. It makes me feel better. Like help someone like with a college application or with money issues. So yeah, I haven't really thought much beyond that for purpose.
Well, you said something that were really interesting, which is that you want to make people feel better regardless of what's going on in your life or their life. And you want them to not worry. You want to give them a way to not worry. And then you said that you feel like your purpose should be to be an Asian high achieving person that you said rich and famous, or makes other people rich and famous.
Oh, I guess make other people rich and famous. Yeah, a business person.
I want you to try something for this next week, and you can, I don't know, maybe we can, or maybe, you know what, let's like do another episode in a few months, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to try just thinking about that. How can I make people feel better regardless of circumstance, which includes my own, regardless of how I'm feeling or they're feeling? How can I make them feel better? By making them feel joy or laughter, which results in them leaving behind their worries. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a high achieving person that makes other people rich and famous.
Mm-hmm.
What if you just thought of that? Because everything you're saying is you saying, I'm going to do not only what I feel like you said you want to do this, you want to make people feel better, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, you feel like other people want you to do that too, because that's what they're giving you, right? So you just said, you just found something that other people want you to do that you already want to do.
Yeah.
So what if you just did that? Because I think that you thinking about how to make other people feel better and not worry about stuff will simultaneously make you feel better and not worry about stuff, because they're going to like you doing it and you already like doing it.
Yeah.
So why don't you just do that all the time? And you might just find that you're always having fun. And then in the process, and then in the process of doing that, you just become a high achieving, rich and famous. You'll become rich and famous by making other people rich and famous.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds like a great life.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm not there yet, but
but I mean, you could.
We're constructing the ideal life. Yeah.
Try it. I don't know. Maybe let's talk in like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
Or yeah, let's talk in 3 months. Let's do in 3 months, because we're gonna do this goals thing, and it's a 6-month process. It's a 6-month goal that you're setting. So let's do it in 3 months. We'll talk again, and we'll see, how does that feel. Just try and make a note of that to think about that, like what you just wrote, because to me, you just talked about what you already want to do, but other people want you to do, and I definitely think that's a part of your purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
A purpose is what you were made to do, because you were made. I don't know if you might not believe it, but you were made to do something, right? And even if you believe it's a random set of processes, well, your cells would beg to differ. Your DNA would beg to differ. Very deliberate about what it has, right? The way But obviously I believe that you were made for a specific thing. And
Mhm.
and generally it's perfectly in line with what people already see. People see what you are good at. And so they're going to say, like, if you see a hammer, if you didn't know what a hammer does, I don't know, you might start hitting stuff with it, or you look at it and you go, I don't know what this is. You'd start playing around with it until you found its purpose, right? I
Mhm.
mean, that's literally how tools were invented.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees were like, I want to get this thing and I don't know what to do. Maybe let me try this stick. And then over
Mhm.
time, they're like, let me sharpen the stick. And then over time, right?
Yeah.
That's how things are made. That's how things are
Mhm.
made, by trial and error. You want to achieve something, and you just mess around until you figure out. And so, anyways, that being said, you've lived 30 years of life, tried to mess around, and everybody goes, I think you were made to do this. Because every
Mhm.
time I see you just fumble around, you literally fumbling around in nothingness results in people laughing. Think
Mhm.
about that. You having no idea what you're doing, having no purpose, you being aimless and purposeless results in a purpose, because you were made to
Mhm.
do that. That's just
Okay.
how it is. So think about that. Think about just going, yeah, I'm going to, because that's sort of what this is about. There's the pain, dealing with the pain patiently, right? Being able to deal with the pain. You can only do that with the help of people, right? You can't do that alone. That's the point, right?
Mhm.
So you have to rely on other people. If you can get through all this pain, right? You're saying, oh, I'm trying to engage with my purpose, but there's all these roadblocks. Of course there is. Otherwise it wouldn't be fun,
Mhm.
right? It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to kill you though, but it's supposed to refine you. It's supposed to make you into a better person, because you are made to do something, but you have to over time become better and better and more of that person, right? And so of course it's going to be painful, but you've already made so much progress.
Yeah.
All right, well, before
I guess one thing
oh
to
yeah,
say is that
sorry.
kind of like, well, the monkey with the hammer thing. And I guess it's like my struggles with comedy and what we can set goals for is like you remember the artist's way. Sometimes you get comedy blockage or writer's block. That's sometimes I get a blockage with comedy. Like if I want to do something, like for example, it took me a year. Nathan gave me a plan about applying for comedy shows. It took me 1 year to get there. Yeah. And then it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just like, that's like the pain. Sometimes you don't even start. Like you're not like the chimpanzee doesn't even pick up the hammer. The chimpanzee just stares at the wall. That's it.
yeah, and that's why it takes time. It takes
Mm-hmm.
time. And the better you can get at finding ways to deal with it in the present and to tackle it in the present, which unfortunately is where the sensation is highest.
Yeah.
The pain is highest in the present.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's easy to go off into these other realms of fantasy, because it's not real. You can't
Yeah.
actually get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You can get hurt in real life. You can die, right? But
Yeah.
this is the only place you can do anything about it.
Yeah.
So you have to take that risk. You drive, I drive. It's incredibly dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so we take that for granted. Before we sign off, how are you telling your story moving forward, and how can anyone listening find you in that journey and help facilitate it?
A story of, well, I mean,
Your
yeah.
story. Obviously, you are telling your story through writing, and
Oh, yes.
so
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, right now I've been doing stand up comedy for like 4 or 5 years. Because now it's like, I just want to take a little creative break from stand up comedy because I feel like it's not giving me the returns that I need right now. So I want to move more to video making, the comedy video making, and just post myself more on the internet. So you can find me at Instagram or TikTok at the Thekiley, Kiley Chang, Chang. And I want to just make people laugh. That's my purpose. And I want to do it in a way that's really unique. No one's ever seen it. Me being like a little weird alien. And I just feel like that's my purpose, is to be a weird alien. To be ET, but
you're ET, except you're on a Segway instead of in a bicycle basket.
Yeah.
And you tell jokes. Yeah.
On the Segway.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my story.
I like that.
And how I'm gonna share it.
Well, yeah. Well then, yeah, follow her on social media at the Kiley Chang. And we'll check back in 3 months and see how these goals are going. And stay tuned for the next episode where we go through and find out what's possible, like who you can become if you just direct some of this chaotic energy and time towards the highest good.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm the perfect candidate because it's ADHD. I mean, I'm just all over the place. So you're here to like contain this chaos. I'm the chaos and gotta make sure.
I can't contain it, but God can.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, we're going to sign off. And so this has been the process of the Paraprosdokian. Like and subscribe and follow and engage and comment and, I don't know, send pictures of your feet. Anything that ups the engagement. Doesn't matter. I know I send a lot of emails and some people have unsubscribed. So, but that's okay. We're going to keep doing this. And
you'll find your audience. Yeah. You're going to find who your true fans are.
Yeah. Or not. This has been great anyways. I enjoy it thoroughly. So
okay,
we're just going to keep doing it. All right.
Cool.
I'll sign off and then we'll hop back on.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.